Welcome to today's masterclass where we're going to talk about the art of the pitch. I think it goes without saying that founders love to talk about their product. In reality, though, it's a small but important component of the total pitch. So don't go too deep here or you'll run out of time and your investor audience won't get their core questions answered. Your objective is to tell enough to get your audience interested, but not flood them with everything they ever wanted to know about your product. My first startup, I would go into customer meetings and I'd launch into a detailed description of my product so they would understand how sophisticated and powerful it was. I was trying to get them to love my baby as much as I did. Inevitably, their eyes glazed over in the first 5 minutes, and meetings ended with feedback like, "Sounds interesting, come back to me when the product's ready," or something vague like that. But their body language told me the real message. So we engaged an external consultant who came in to help us figure out what was wrong. I stood up in front of him and launched into my pitch. 2 minutes into the deep and boring product presentation, he interrupted me. Wait, he said. "Do you know what you have done here? You've got the answer to every CEO's worst nightmare, but you're pitching it all wrong." He then pointed us in the right direction, reducing the deep product pitch into a business transformation story. And with that, we got CEO meetings. They got excited, we won many industry awards, and we sold the business for $1 billion. At this stage in your pitch, there are really only two things I care about with respect to your technology. How do you solve the customer's problem, and how unique is it compared to everything else out there? The art of good storytelling is to put the audience in the scene. So make it real for your audience. You've already introduced Acme Technologies and the problems they're facing, so show your audience a day in the life story of how you solve it for Acme. Explain why it's unique and compelling, and most importantly, quantify how much money they can save or make if they adopt your solution. This is something that most startups miss. If you don't have a good economic value model for your customers around your solution, you don't have a viable B2B business. Let me say that again. If you don't have a good customer economic value model, you don't have a viable B2B business. So continuing our AI 8-ball example, so far we've got the main character of our story, Acme Technologies, and the problems they have with their current solution. Now let me introduce AI 8-ball, the hero of our story. Here's how we solve Acme's problem. We're the first AI implementation. We've optimized our solution to, we've aggregated data, whatever. The net effect of our solution is that we help companies like Acme hire great candidates 15% faster and save an average of 8 hours per week per recruiter. And we know this because we understand exactly what their current solution looks like and how we can improve the status quo. Now, if my product were further along, I'd show screenshots or a brief video. I'd tell a day in the life story to make it more real. But my product isn't mature enough yet, so we'll have to settle for something a little bit simpler. Acme is currently spending roughly $1 million a year to recruit 100 software developers. We're charging $100,000 a year, and Acme would save around $200,000 a year, giving them about a 6-month payback. So you can see here that I'm showing the audience a before and after view, what a typical customer looks like, their problems, how we solve their problems, and what the customer's business case would look like. And I'm doing it through the lens of a composite fictitious customer, at least until I have a real customer case study that I can use. There are a couple of ways you can show how you stand out from other vendors. You could use a 2x2 matrix with 2 key customer buying criteria and where you sit relative to other solutions, or you could use a feature comparison table and show how you stack up. Either way, pick attributes that align with your marketing differentiation strategy and the customer buying criteria. For instance, when Steve Jobs stood up to introduce the iPhone, he said he had smart on one axis and easy to use on the other axis, which was the focus of Apple's marketing campaign for years. Notice how they're not features or technology, they're customer benefits that only the iPhone could make. A good competitive analysis helps you build trust with your investors. Be open, show your knowledge of the market, don't badmouth the competition. Instead, say things like, they're good at this, but we're better at that. If you just wanted to make phone calls, then customer could go with blah. If you just want to do emails and texts, then customers could go with blah. But the iPhone lets you do so much more. A couple of things to keep in mind here. You do have competitors, even if it's just the status quo, so don't, under any circumstances, say there are no competitors. Sure, they may not do it like you do, but that's for you to show, not to ignore. Don't compete on price unless you're at least 10 times cheaper. Don't be afraid to challenge the big vendors with something significantly better. Features are easily copied, but architecture and technology are harder. Patents are valuable only if they're broad and hard to work around. Something I often see in pitches is the easy to use differentiator. If customers say that it's a real problem for them that's significantly impacting their ability to make money or save money, then you can support the easy to use statement. So make sure you back it up with strong evidence. So how good is your solution story? Again, after the call today, I invite you to score yourself. What can you do to make the substance of your pitch better? Collect evidence, not assumptions. Be specific and quantitative, not vague. And engage your mentor advisor. Ask them if they agree with your scoring. If I can call out one important point in the scorecard, what will impress and excite your investor audience more than anything is that you understand your customer's economic value proposition. How much will your customers save or make with your solution? And also, how much money will you make? Again, telling the story through the lens of a typical customer like Acme. This is a great opportunity for you to take out your scorecard, score yourself, see how you're doing. So pause the video now and go do that, then come back and we'll continue.